Sachit Goel, who's a senior cardiologist, also joins us right now on the broadcast. Dr. Sachit, it's ironic that we are talking about Children's Day here because right now, the situation, the visuals that we have on our screens right now, what's happening in the national capital, this is not the future that we want to give to our young ones. And it's unfortunate that not just us, but also the younger ones have to go through all of this. And they, as expected, will bear a maximum brunt of what's going on.
Definitely, sir. The current scenario which we are facing right now these days is this rise in the pollution of the cities. They are definitely challenging the health of people who are at risk, and definitely the most risky category for these issues is our children. Today on the Children Day, we definitely would like to have concern about this all rising issues. They are most high risk category to have diseases associated with pollution, as their systems are yet not developed, as their immunity is not yet developed to a stage that they can handle the burden they are having with this polluted cities. So we are imposing a great risk factor to their health and to their future.
Right. In fact, Ankita, I want to ask you the same question here. The high-risk category, of course, involves children. And the problem here is that even GRAP 3 restrictions, which right now have just been put in place just an hour ago in the national capital, despite the AQI being 456, online classes, it says that the government can decide or the schools can decide whether they want to have online classes. This is appalling. We shouldn't be letting children out of the homes in a city which has an AQI of 456.
Yeah, sure. Look, what happens that if AQI is going beyond 200, there is a definite threat to the health of the people and especially these children. And the step that we should, that is in fact being laid down by the authorities, is that we'll have to curtail all our daily activities so that to minimum that we only go out for emergency purposes only. And for classes, if there's an option to have online classes and to reduce the risk, definitely it should be adopted so as to decrease the threat.
Absolutely. I'll ask the same question to Ankita here. Ankita, right now, all we need from the government is aggressive action. What's done is done. They've failed to bring in any change with their winter action plan or all these fancy schemes, slogans that were put behind.
So the primary reason
nothing has worked. But let's leave all that behind. Aggressive action is what is needed, something that brings about a change. But clearly, even that is not being done.
Right. And that is exactly right what you said. We're talking about all these implementations of all these policies and winter campaigns, and we're doing this. The government plans to propose a lot of programs, but where is the awareness? Where is the stricter enforcement in terms of individual activities and also construction activities? Government is planning to do a lot of construction activities. We're planning to build a lot of infrastructure for, global growth and modernization. But what we're failing to understand is actual impacted activities or actual impact effective measures that fail to deliver what we expect as results. And one of the primest example for that is dust control. If you go on the road, you see construction is going everywhere. Where are stricter dust control requirements for builders? Where are stricter regulations for organizations that are doing all these construction activities? We can talk about what needs to change, but unless these regulations are not strictly implemented, we're not going to see an effective change. To not be at this stage currently, we have talked
Ankita,
about environmental change.
Let's be realistic here. We are talking about GRAP 3 regulations, GRAP 4 regulations, all these bans after the situation deteriorates. But do these really help? As someone who's worked in that field, give us a sense of what sort of changes are needed, because every single year we look at these plans, action plans, fancy slogans being put out, but nothing changes. What should be done to ensure that this annual phenomenon, something that people are subjected to, it's taken care of?
So primarily is dust control, increasing water sprinkler activities on the roads, using dust suppressants, covering construction sites with tarp that contain the dust that goes out and that people get affected by. Paving vegetation, open spaces, that is one of the other activities. The other prime reason for actual effective change is reducing enforcing regulations on burning of open waste, and specifically in border areas. So we have neighboring states that also kind of are contributing towards the smog that we see in Delhi, because it's the wind that does all the action, and that's the whole cloud activity that you see over Delhi. So dust collection, stricter regulations on industries, both small scale and large scale, is mandatory. We talk about all these implications, but are these regulations really strict? Are these regulations being actually implemented? No, they're not. One of the other reason is because of its cost. So there should actually be places. When do you see an effective change? As been working in this industry for the last 8 years now, you have to have individual awareness to actually see the impact. Think about Swachh Bharat. Swachh Bharat was an idea that was established by the government so many years ago. But today, after 10 years of that implementation, if you ask any kid, they still know what Swachh Bharat Abhiyan means, right? So that was the impact of individual awareness. I think we are past that point where only enforcing government policies is not going to do any good. If we keep talking about, yes, we are implementing this, come next year, November 2025, we will still be at the same stage if individual awareness activities are not been implemented. And what I mean by that is, again, you cannot control a lifestyle of an individual, meaning you talk about using public transportation, you talk about using reusable bags. Every person has their individual lifestyle. They are not going to compromise on that. But how do you implement all these individual daily activities like saving energy, using water conservation on your daily activities that show actual impact?
So clearly